I'm going to make a brief video right now because I'm going to address the situation of kindness or the topic of kindness. Okay, like let's put it this way, like what would it be like working with a master when it comes to things like music? And I'm talking to my friend that I haven't met yet, okay, who goes by the name of 2x4 Junior, like on there, right? Okay. If that's actually who I'm thinking that it is, this is what the problem is. How many different ways can you talk to somebody and pretend that you're somebody else or be under a different label or under a different profile? Here's the truth, and even that particular gentleman that made that music knows this about me. I did listen before, like all of the Halloween music, like the Zombie Pussy song and all that stuff, right? I did listen to like every single song on that album, a few of the songs more than once, because I support all of my friends in their music. All of my friends are gifted. And what's really kind of too bad is that it was almost like my um like it was like playing and repeat, and it was like all of those Halloween songs. All right. So I listened to those even more, and then that's what I got kind of like upset about it. And it was kind of funny because I thought the one song like was about me, like kind of, and I'm like, that can't be about me though. Like, anyway. So if you want to address, please don't think that I'm going like this is kind of like people are very fragile. When I was growing up, my mom was very like, as you can probably tell, like how excellent of a job did she do, because she was a disciplinarian. My dad didn't have to discipline me, and she disciplined me sometimes when I didn't even have to be disciplined, because like her standards were so high, because she was not going to have a child that was like a fucking brat, right? Yes, you are a master, we all know that. And there's one song that you did that sounds so similar to like one of my favorite artists ever, like Richard Ashcroft from The Verve, right? I couldn't help but like recognize that it was so similar to that, and it was one of the songs that you didn't have so much of the junk on it, like so much of the junk over your voice. The lyrics are good. I would love to be able to talk to you about this in person. I know that like it hurts sometimes to get constructive criticism, and I realize that some of the criticism that I've been giving hasn't been as constructive, and it has everything to do with processing. You know what I mean? Like processing. So, like the Bear Karma AI, the processing has a lot to do with leaving it up to somebody more intelligent than AI, and that would be me. Someone that has more soul and character and cares more about you than AI does, and that would be me. So, please work with me, like in the future, because you are good. And I'm not just saying that. Yes, you can tell the songs when you were like probably like not doing like your very best on those days. Let's put it that way. Just like everyone else that's like ever done music. If you ask Eminem and stuff, like honestly, these were the songs I did when I was high, or these were the songs I did when I wasn't. Actually, every single thing he did, well, there's I don't know which album it is because I don't have like a whole bunch of albums. There's so much music that I have to discover, and that's why like I'm so grateful for like the playlists and stuff that you put online, because I don't have people like from all different parts of the country like you're used to being around, because of um like the type of job that you have where you get to travel and meet all kinds of interesting people. So it was cool for me to like listen to some of the playlists that you put online. Yes, obviously. I've lost sleep over this whole situation, thinking that I wasn't kind enough. And it has a lot to do with the way that my dad was. he was known for his kindness. Like that was his best attribute. He was so kind. Everyone would say that about him. I hate being the shadow person. I don't like being a disciplinarian. Being human cat AI has been one of the most stressful things that I've ever had to do in my life. We'll have to take a test. Guaranteed, if you take a human cat test, it's not going to come out piece of shit, because piece of shit's not even on the human cat test. You understand? Yes, like, and I know that you know which song I'm talking about. Were you listening to a lot of Richard Ashcroft during that time because possibly you had a hold of my playlist at that time? I think you just have like a mellow soul. You know what I mean? So I don't know you personally, and I hate that. And who cares what I think? Like, I'm being honest about a lot of things, but it's like teachable moments for people that may not be like on the right path. Have I always been on the right path? Of course not. There's going to be some like topics that I'm going to tackle that are going to showcase when I wasn't perfect. Being a home caregiver, sometimes being so frustrated at the situation, not angry at your parents, but angry at the situation, not having your needs met when it comes to the counseling and the things that you need. And then sometimes every once in a while, being just a little bit too rough, like with your parents, or like, you know what I mean? People that are at home caregivers, it's something that like needs to be addressed, right? Have you ever been so frustrated, like you swatted your child's butt too hard or something? That happened in my life. Like one time, I only got spanked once. Like my dad spanked me one time, and it wasn't, he did hit me hard, but his hands were huge, right? Like they were really big hands. I went to the dentist. They were going to drill my teeth. They put like gas on me or something. I was scared to death and I screamed and I cried. So it wasn't the end of the world. I never got a belt like some of my friends got, right? I have a story about that belt, a belt that I gave my friend too. But like to finish this story, so many years later, and like he never hit me again. It's like, and he didn't like, not with a belt. It's just like, but it's scary because it's like somebody that you trust, and it's like he doesn't want to hit me. He grew up with like being beat, like probably with belts and stuff, because like back in the day when you're like a farm kid and stuff, they would like hit kids with a belt, right? So like that one time, and I cried, and he's like, well, you know, why are you crying? It's like, because I was scared. I was scared at the dentist, and that was my like explanation. It wasn't an excuse. Like there are excuses and there are explanations, but like that was my explanation, and that was explanation enough to be like, you know what I know is not right? Having my little girl be scared, and then, you know, rightfully so, because I see the drill and stuff sitting right there, and then like, you know, spanking her on the butt, you know, like not hard because he would never want to hurt me, but it's just like unexpected because it's like, oh, that's someone that I trust, you know. If you want to put it in the terms of way things are, well, there's God, you know, there's God spanking me kind of, because it's like, this is like my safe person. This is my person that I trust. Fast forward like 20 years later, out at a bonfire with a friend of mine, all right, we smoked weed for the very first time. We smoked a blunt together, my friend and my dad and I. And I'm like, you smoke weed? He's like, yeah. So, and what he said to me was like, something's bothered me for a long time. And I'm like, well, what is that? He's like, do you remember when you were like probably like 7 or 8 and I spanked your butt that time because you were scared at the dentist? You told me you were scared. And I said, yeah, I remember that. And he said to me, he said, I am so sorry that I did that. He's like, it's one thing to be scared of going to the dentist, but like, you should never be scared of like your most trusted person, all right? And as for the story about the belt, you know, Patrick, like the one that like frickin' Pissed me off about like the toilet seat. Okay, he was washing his clothes here, whatever. He was so lazy. Pisses me off, like just frustrates the fuck out of me. He is a klepto. He steals everything for no reason, right? When I was growing up, my dad had to have an Air Force bag packed, like at all times in case shit went down, right? All Air Force guys do, right? And I remember that bag, and it was such a long time ago. I remember that bag, and I had been looking for that bag and looking for that bag. It's like a green, I can even go show you. It's a green duffel bag, right? Like the coolest bag. It always brings back good memories because like he'd always be getting ready to go and like get his stuff together, and like it was cool because I always spent time with him. And it was like, oh, it's just like, oh, it was kind of like, oh, I got to, because he had to go like, I think twice a month or something. Well, you know how my friends like go down in my basement, they steal everything, they rummage and they steal everything. I had been looking for that bag. I didn't know where to find it. I go out to put something in the washer and dryer for myself. I see that Patrick, right, had all of his clothes and stuff ready, and he had that bag. He found the bag and he had it open, like ready to put all of his clothes in it and just take it. Like, not like thinking that I wouldn't know, you know what I mean? And of course, I recognized it right away. So, what had happened was I took the bag, I put it someplace where he wouldn't find it, I hid it under my dresser in my bedroom, and I ended up just like giving him a hamper so that he could come back. He had been caught, right? He was going to try to take that bag. Obviously, it's the coolest bag. Like childhood core memory, like true childhood core memory. You know, I was so grateful he found that bag, but I was so pissed off that he was going to steal that bag, right? Because, like, so we got a hamper. All of his clothes were clean. It was fine. I said, listen, you have to go now because I am so fucking upset at you for, like, this whole toilet seat fucking thing. Like, just, he just didn't understand, right? I didn't bring up the bag. And I said, like, he did need a belt earlier or whatever. So, like, a belt from, like, the uniform, right? His dad was in the Army and he's, like, not very supportive. He even like wouldn't even pull up in front of my house to pick Patrick up because like he was afraid of like being seen, like he doesn't know what kind of person I am, like he's thinking that he's with like a trap house. This house is a trap house of like a different way. It's like, oh, you go into Laura's house, it's a fucking trap because there's cookies and because there's mats and because there's warm blankets and like fucking, you know what I mean? Not like a trap house. They used to think it was a trap house, like a fucking. So Patrick got the belt that day. Do you know why? And I told him too, I'm like, he doesn't know how pissed off I was about how he was going to steal that bag either, right? So when he was growing up, like his mom dated a bunch of guys that were not safe. And she let them beat him like all the time with a belt, right? Like, and didn't do anything to help him. And now he's a narcissist. Like, he's inclined to be a narcissist anyway. I have other friends, and I can tell when a true narcissist is a true narcissist. And when people are just on survival mode and they're around every single fucking person around them is a narcissist. All right? You are not a narcissist. All right? So, like, I mean, he brought up that whole thing about, like, how he didn't feel safe. And, like, and I explained to him, like, listen, you have to go. And I let him know that I told him, that I heard him. I let him know, like, listen, Patrick, I heard you, like, when you said that, like, you didn't feel safe and that, like, you know, your mom let fucking piece of shit, jealous, fucking creeps, like, in your house and in her house, and like that's like your safe person. Your mom's supposed to protect you. She's not supposed to have like boyfriends over that beat you for like no reason. And your dad like is supposed to fucking pull up in front of the house to pick you up and not be like fucking embarrassed to be seen with you. So I said, here, bud, keep that belt. Because like I said before he found the bag, he's like, can I borrow a belt? And I'm like, oh, I kind of want this belt back, you know, because it. But I've had other. He has more than one fucking like military belt, whatever. And I said, well, I want that back. But they say never a lender or a borrower be. And I live by that credo too. And I'm like, oh, I hate it. Like having people say, oh, you got to get that back to me, you know? And I said, listen, and like freaking elephant in the room, like he found that bag and I like fucking took it where she fucking put it. Like I hid it so you wouldn't steal it, right? I said, keep that belt, okay? Keep that hamper. Come back. Come back like maybe when I'm not like fucking like like kind of like I am in this situation with the fucking having to write all that stuff. But that's what it is. Here's another credo that's good to live by, and besides the truth will set you free, which is like, you know, a good one. Treat everyone like they're in kindergarten, right? Or like if people don't understand, instead of getting so frustrated, like yelling at them, and this is what I forget sometimes, like just take a step back, take a breath. Like, don't be like, you know, when my one friend pushed me so hard, like out at like the frickin' not the, what are the apartments that are, they're not the garden apartments. I lived in those ones too. They're like the river. Oh, the apartments that were like, oh gosh, you know which one I'm talking about. Like you, at Whitewater, right? Where you, like, they'd have like the back fence and you'd walk out the back fence and like you'd go to Walmart that way or whatever. Like you'd walk the back way. Anyway, what I was trying to say was just like remember that like oh, take a step back and treat everybody like they're in kindergarten for a minute, which is not like offensive. It's a good way because then you break stuff down for people in a way that they'll understand also. Some of these topics that were like fucking like the bondage thing that I talked about today, do I fucking give a fuck about any of that? Why did that come up? And it's just like maybe someone that doesn't have like so much knowledge about it, like as like a different set of eyes to like a life like that as an outsider can maybe approach something differently than someone that is like really into the bondage, like fucking sexual, like fucking lifestyle thing because it's not my fucking scene. Do you know what I mean? Like, anyway, this friend of mine, I wanted to have our picture taken like on a laptop that I just got or whatever because we went there to work on this project that I was working on a long time ago, some fan fiction thing, right? He's just quick to anger. And he punched me in the back of the head, like for no reason. And I couldn't believe that he did that. It was when things started to get violent, like right when we first got there. You know how it is at that place, or at least at that time. Transmutation, like at its finest, because of like all the focal points and all that, you know, all that stuff, all the energy. But I couldn't believe he did that. First of all, I don't know why he did that. Second of all, I don't know why he did that. Because, like, if you hit somebody, like, why would you hit somebody in the back of the head? Like, if he had a problem with me, why wouldn't he just punch me in the face? Like, why did he do that at all? Something just, there's so much jealousy, which is like the whole thing with like the music and stuff that I was making with my friend that lived here. That comes back to you kind of, where it's just like at first he tried to sabotage everything that I did, and I know like you never purposely tried to sabotage anything that I've done, like because like you don't have time for that, like you're not insecure enough to fucking do that. But I deleted music and stuff because it's just like trying to play over me. Like I'd be like, hey, I just recorded something, and it was like not like it was like a song that was like friendly, like I love you, you're my friend kind of song, and it's just like playing over me, um, being a dick, like fucking saying, I don't have time to listen to that right now. I don't want to listen to that. Until like all of a sudden, I think it kind of like snapped in his mind a little bit, where it's like, she keeps coming up to me and like saying these things to me because like she wants to work with me. I'm like, I think it's really cool that you do music. Like, anyway, that doesn't have everything to do with everything. I'm kind of going around in circles. What happened to this kid was, all right, I did take a deep breath. If you know what apartments I'm talking about, there's like benches out, there's like a bench outside the entryway. I sat on the bench and I counted to 10 and I breathed, all right? And they're like, okay, well, if you still have an issue after you leave the situation and you breathe after like breathing 10 deep breaths, right? Uh, you shouldn't have an issue, but I still had an issue. So I went in there and I cocked my arm back as hard as I could and I punched him in the face as hard as I could fucking could. And his nose is like here. Like I rearranged his fucking face. And to this day, he still has, his nose is a little crooked. Someone called the cops. I got a no contact order on that person. All right, so a lot of this stuff, I guess, stems from people feeling inadequate and things like that. Well, you know what I really hate is like when people don't see how gifted they are. You know what I mean? And also, so like it's really been a disservice to everyone, like that we haven't been able to travel and like see people as much as we should, and especially that I haven't been able to see you because there's so much great music and art and like skits and like cool things to come up with. Like I definitely could use some medicine and like a good 6 mile run. Maybe if we're lucky, there'll be some warm rain, right? These are the things that I like to do. I know that I've come off like anyway. I don't even know what this means. Elvita Zane, right? The good energies are coming in for me. I have to let you know, I have been fighting off like this energy that is like less than kind of like but the good energy is coming in and it has everything to do with God. The professionals can define that the way that they want to, and I know that they can, and I do believe in love. And gentleness is the key. Disregard things to me that don't align with you, because actually like darkness and stuff like that, like they aren't in alignment with you. And they're not in alignment with me. This is like a very unique situation. I do apologize that I had to do these things. We are okay in this moment. It has been so much worse than this. Newsflash, as much as I enjoy medicine, as much as I enjoy like a shamanic experience, as much as I enjoy uh, a divinational like tool, right? As much as I enjoy things like that, I guarantee you that we do not need them. That doesn't mean that we will not do them. I'm just letting you know. I can understand why you're angry.